So how was the convention you went to?
Okay, so I just came back from men's conference. Preaching was amazing.
Okay.
Praise and worship. The songs were epic. Worship leaders, trash. I can't put it any other way. Worship leaders were for people to pay $20 to $35, your worship leaders gotta be on point, bro.
The problem is it was all men up there, and we know you need females to balance the worship team.
Or at least some fruity guys.
No. And that's the part that kills me, because the men could hold their parts. They had men that could actually do the parts. The worship leaders just suck.
What part of, okay, so when you say worship leader, what do you mean?
Like the person
who was leading that.
The person that's leading that service.
Okay.
So like, they would start the song and then go into the praise team, and it's like you're the worship leader, so you know you ad-lib, you know what I'm saying? So if it's the part is dancing in your presence, you know, you throw an extra dance in your presence, and they were just singing with the praise team. So it's the awkward silence moment.
I'm not finna sell out, because just like last time I said, it's every time it's time for me to leave, and I go right to singing with my praise team. I understand, it's the nerves. I don't think I'm trash, so I'm not gonna allow you to call them trash. What I'm gonna say is they need seasoned worship leaders next time,
especially for a conference.
And that's my thing. So if it was a regular church service, okay, I would understand that maybe you're not comfortable, might be your first time. Right. But for a conference, I'm thinking they're vetting these people. Like, I've seen you lead worship before, and I know you fired. Nah, bro. You ain't got the juice like that.
That makes sense, because you wouldn't throw me up there.
No, I wouldn't throw you at no conference.
Okay. Yeah, no.
You know, at a conference, so I would think that you would throw the people that you would call an EJ, you know what I'm saying? Because you know EJ can lead worship.
Can you stop telling these people names?
No, but I'm saying the people that can lead worship. I'm sorry.
No, it makes sense, because even like you don't want to use someone who hasn't spoken, like isn't a good speaker,
exactly.
You know, even for a day service at your church, you want to do that for a night service or a Friday night service. Yeah, so you do need seasoned people.
They need a little training grounds, ain't the conference. When you done took my money and you got because worship is important when you know what I'm saying, it gets you ready for the preaching and everything. And then altar call. Oh my God, please help me. Oh, hey, look here, man. I don't even know if these people listen to the gospel or the worship music. They sang 10 to 20 minutes of the same song. They ain't switch it over into a different song. It's just all bad.
The music.
Yeah,
that's important. It's not just him, but all of us.
It kind of.
But really,
it's the heartbeat of the service. That's how you typically. It's
I don't like to miss praise and worship. If I know I'm going to be late to church and miss praise and worship, then I kind of feel as though when I get there, I'm just going to be sitting down. Like the worship ushers the presence of the Lord. That's why it's important.
So that's why it was rough. I was just like, man, you would think that you would have altar call songs on that. It's not hard to find altar call songs.
I give myself away.
You know what I'm saying? They did I give myself away, and they just kept singing it and singing it. And I'm like, when y'all gonna switch over to I surrender all or something, like switching to something? And
that's an urban thing, though. I realize that.
But my thing is, right, when you do that, right, you go into and then it'd be like 5 minutes of silence, and it's just the instrument, like the band playing, and there's no music. Then they just randomly come back in, and it's just like, nah, bro. Like, and then they're doing fast songs for altar call, and it's just like, what is this? Do y'all go to church? Like, is how y'all church get down?
I'm dead. Welcome to the class, everybody. We're not doing this with him, not on today. Jer speaks.
Raw. This is Perry.
Every week? Put your phone down. Every week?
Yeah.
This week I'm playing Fruit Ninja.
She's over here playing Fruit Ninja.
You know, when I saw her with her phone, I was like, I could have brought mine.
No. Hey, and we got a new classmate today, y'all.
Hey,
Miss Tia.
That is Tia.
No, it's just Tia.
Welcome to the class.
Welcome to the class, everybody.
Thank you for having
like
me.
they said, we have in every class you got somebody that ain't never did nothing. You got the class clown.
Oh man. No.
You got the teacher's pet.
What am I?
The best.
So that means her nose be brown.
Are
the new student?
You're the new student, okay.
Hey, the new student.
See, everybody always wanted to fight the teacher's pet. all that kissing up and still getting
First of all, I never 3.98, don't do me.
I'm just saying.
Don't do me.
Teachers pet knew they was no.
I'm not doing this with either of them today. As we stated, we do have special guest Tia in the building.
They don't even call me Tia like that anyways. It's just Tia.
Tia.
Tianka.
Yes.
Nobody asked you for your government. Yeah. So today we have a topic that I think is interesting because I kind of got, you know, drugged through the mud about this particular topic.
Hey, me too.
But it was everybody knows that it's worse for the female. In any situation. That whole Scarlet Letter vibe all up and through the church house. Okay.
That's not what the guy did. I know. The guy got her pregnant. She's carrying a baby. Oh my gosh.
I'm telling you, at any moment. So the topic for today is, do you think that a male and a female can be strictly platonic friends with no sort of romantic vibes to their relationship at all? And then part 2 of that is, how does the church view those relationships? It's a good thing. So backstory, I don't know if you want to.
No, you can go ahead, man. Hey, we're going to be real with y'all, man. I'm just going to tell you.
So he came to the church probably, this is way back. He was there for like 2 years and ain't nobody talked to him. One of my sisters that was moving away, she wanted to do a play, and when he was at the church, he just thugged out. Like, his worship wasn't even like, you know, oh thank you. He was up there like,
let this be the short version.
You know what I'm saying? Shut up.
Juking in the praise house.
Right. So he.
So was your wife.
Off beat.
Lucy is his wife when she's gonna come up. So my sister, she's moving away. She's doing we were having a ball or something. She wanted to do a play. She was just like, oh, I'm gonna ask Ra here if he'll do it. And I was just like, why? You know, because at that point we had never spoken to him, and I'm thinking he gangbanged, so I don't want to go for it. So anyway, long story long. He came in jeans and a wife beater. That wasn't it, but okay. So he agreed to do the play. We all kind of hit it off. We meshed really well. Back then he was cuter, you know, because he had all his hair. He had a longer beard, and then he had his little earrings. So you know.
Aging like fine wine. What she talking about?
so anyway, you know, when we first looked at him, we all had that conversation like, oh, he is kind of cute, but you know, it was never nothing. And then once we got to know him, it was just like, oh, that's the homie.
Oh baby, he raggedy.
He's raggedy, but also
no matter how cute, don't let that be the choice.
That's why I need Jesus.
But we was just like, that's the homie, right?
So what about these raggedy men y'all mess with that don't got Jesus?
That's not.
They raggedy and they just want to live and they raggedy. Y'all fine with that?
Entertainment.
Okay.
You flirt to convert. We have to help them.
And how many times has that worked?
Never.
They go right back to the world.
Ground zero. Anyway, so we hit it off. We were like, that was my homie. We were tight. We connected on music. We connected on movies. We just connected because we had a similar background. Everybody in the church had a problem with that though. Because he had a girlfriend, right? And she did come to church, but she's not as loud as we are. She's kind of quiet and reserved.
Now his wife.
Who is now his wife. I was in that wedding, by the way. Y'all know. So she was kind of reserved. So everybody, oh, and I'm talking about from top to bottom. I got it from the bishop of the church to the executive pastor to my parents, who I talked about in the last video. Yeah, everybody kept saying stuff like, oh, y'all too close, y'all too close. There's got to be something going on between y'all. At first, my parents were on my side. They was just like, oh, Jalissa, no, ain't nothing going on. They wouldn't do nothing like that. Then eventually my mom always, oh, I see the way you look at each other. And I'm just like, you mean when we laugh? Because most of the time when we looking at each other, we laughing at something that we done seen in church that we both call at the same time. But it turned into this big, it turned into this big thing to the point where I was like crying, and I'm just like, should we just not be friends, you know? And his thing was,
I said, why? We ain't doing nothing wrong.
Cause we weren't.
What are we doing? I mean, if we stop hanging out, then that really gonna make people thinking like
that there was something.
Yeah. Cause if you know people that were friends before, and then they do something, their whole vibe when you're hanging out with them, it gets different. Yeah. Like if you know people that have done things like, oh, that's my brother, that's my sister.
But you get that awkward.
Yeah, it's an awkward vibe. Like when you hung out with them before, it felt like they was really like brother and sister, and then it was like, wait a minute, something off now. Yeah, like y'all got something. Yeah. So you know,
it's never me being around y'all all the time. I have never gotten that vibe.
Bro, the people we work with, they tell us, they was like, we legit thought y'all was brother and sister.
Yeah.
Because of the way that y'all act towards each other. Like they never thought anything else, that we were just brother and sister.
So he proposed to her eventually, right? He proposed to her. I didn't stop getting like the death stares until they saw me in their wedding, and then they didn't understand, because like I said, she's quiet, she's reserved, but she doesn't do all of that. Yeah, right. She doesn't.
She's still her friend.
My relationship with her was more outside of church. You couldn't.
Y'all better be proud of me for coming on these people camera with no makeup on.
Anyway, guys, technical difficulties. Welcome to the class. Yeah. Technical difficulties. We're back. We can see who the vain student is.
I thought we were still I'm sorry.
Nope, we're not. So I didn't stop getting all the death stares until they saw me in their wedding. Then it was just like, oh, well, it can be nothing going on if, you know, they're in their wedding. That stopped for a while, and then eventually, as the years passed, then it got back to the, I don't know, they still kind of close.
What you would think would like make people be like, okay, then they just get down like that. You know what I'm saying? I like to laugh. I'm always laughing.
Especially because y'all do it right in front of
exactly. If we was hiding like in a corner or something, giggling, I would understand. Just like,
could you imagine? Yeah. Could you imagine like walking around the corner of the church and seeing them like?
Yeah. But that's the funny thing, when they do see things like that, they don't ever say nothing. But if you do it in front of them, they give you a hard time. But we're not gonna go into that, right?
Wow.
Can people be platonic friends? I'm just saying.
You see, guys, I'm not as open as they are.
So answer the question, because you see everything that we went through, obviously, especially in the culture of our church.
So I will say, in my opinion, I have two opinions. One, I do, which is like two opinions, you can only have two, and they're both opposites. Okay, so I do feel as though you can have a platonic friendship between, of course, a male and a female. One is because I myself am friends with Sean.
Yeah.
And literally, I can call him, I can text him. His wife don't think nothing. Nobody around me thinks anything. He's a great friend. We hang out. They come over our house. We go over theirs, and it's literally just a friendship, more of a brother. Like, he's a big brother to me. So when you have, especially when you have that relationship amongst your group of friends, whether it's guys and girls, and you respect them, and vice versa. I respect his relationship with his wife. I'm really close with his wife. I love you, Lucy. So when you have that relationship with people, I definitely feel as though it can definitely work. You know, I can definitely be friends with Sean, and there's absolutely nothing there. But he's my brother, you know?
Yeah.
So
hey, look, y'all gonna stop talking.
So I personally feel as though it can be done. Now, on the other side of that, when those boundaries and those,
that's it, right?
Yep, when those boundaries are not set, and when there has never been a established boundary to begin with,
I do feel as though it can cause for that friendship to then have either someone's catching a feeling, whether it's both parties are catching a feeling or one person is catching a feeling. The guy is starting to realize, oh, there's so many qualities about her that I really like, or whatnot. He's starting to like her, or vice versa. The girl's starting to see that there are so many qualities about the guy that they start to like if those boundaries aren't set. And I think that happens more so when it's two single people. Also, two single people who are both looking for love and become friends, and then they find that love, or think they did, or find that liking in the opposite sex. So I definitely feel as though that plays a role in it as well. What is your status? Granted, I mean, sometimes it don't even gotta be.
You were with us though. You pretty much were with us the entire roller coaster. What did you think
About you two?
Yeah. Because we're the only two that got static. He didn't get any static for being friends with any of the other females. It's just us.
Okay, so I will say they definitely do have a very close friendship. They do have a very close relationship because they're so similar. It's like Jer is the guy version of Sean, and Sean is the girl version. I mean, sorry.
See where this goes. That's not of God. I'm just gonna say.
I apologize. Jer is the female version of Sean, and Sean is the male version of Jer. Okay. So because of their similarities, they have a close-knit relationship and they get along very well. Or not even, sometimes they be bickering too.
Yeah.
And that's what I say.
They bicker all the time. Like they stop talking. There are periods of time they don't even talk because they both the same people. So and another thing is that's how they wouldn't even work in an actual relationship. Like it wouldn't work. They're too similar. You would need to.
I be in jail because I've been knocked out. Hey, we shouldn't hit women before I say, hey, we can squabble it out. Long as
she's stubborn and she will continue, and she can be aggy. And Sean, oh my God,
unapologetically.
Sean can be aggy too.
Yes, I can when it comes.
So,
but I'm so in tune with me. I understand that.
Yeah, okay. But you brought up a good point when you talked about boundaries, and that's why platonic relationships get messed up at, because people don't, first of all, they don't like to set boundaries because then that means you have to live up to a certain standard, and you have to hold yourself accountable. So like I think platonic relationships and platonic friendships between a man and a woman is on the they can work, but it's on an individual basis. Are you, if you're ready for that or not?
Exactly.
Because some people, and I'll talk from a man's perspective, a man will act like he wants to be your platonic friend to get to know things about you, so he could try to wiggle his way in to try to get into a relationship with you. So his mindset from the beginning was never to be platonic friends. It was just to be kind of like a spy, or to get like information in a friendly way.
So saying that, that's definitely true, vice versa as well, because sometimes when you become friends with someone, you have an ulterior motive behind why you want to be their friend. So, let's be friends, you know, so I can get to know you and be with you, you know. So, and then the other person may have that feeling of, oh, I just want to be friends with you. So then that causes a rift.
But then the friendship wouldn't last as long. Because
not at all. So going back off of you guys, if that was ever the case, y'all wouldn't be friends right now to this day. It's been years, you know. So I'm trying to think. Do I have many guy friends? There ain't even guys that were friends. There ain't. Oh, okay. I got guy friends.
No, you can't have guy because you are the. If we be honest, right? We brought Tia to the class because Tia is one of those. Tia's friendly. She's nice. She's a nice girl.
We're not talking about me.
She's a little naive. So like she'll be friends with guys, And
she'll be that's part of the game.
She'll be going in and they'll be like, she'll tell them, I just want to be your friend. And when she says that she really wants to be their friend, she's not trying to get anything extra out of them. And the guy will be like, oh yeah, and then it turns into, when they hang out with her long enough, they just like, oh man, hey Tia, what's up? We'll take you to get some dinner.
First of all, I know those guys.
And then she said, and then this is where it becomes her fault, because when they asked her to go, when they asked her to go to dinner, she's like, free meal, who knows? I'm going. Let's go get this.
Nah, y'all, no, wait, because this topic ain't even about me.
No, we're talking in general though, but I'm talking because I see it all the time. I grew up with all sisters.
But no, let me say this.
There's a sucker born every minute. That's how they're giving out a free meal. Every girl gonna be like, oh.
But so first of all, we all enjoy a good free meal. Don't do my girl like that. Second of all, let me say this. Okay. Let me say this.
Wow.
So.
Oh man, that's crazy.
You know from the beginning, right? Because you can tell there are telling signs that people give when it comes to them liking you.
Yeah.
I know when these guys there's like an extra, and these guys that come at you know for a fact that it ain't just your friend.
Yeah, no, and that's what I was gonna say.
But where you go wrong is you still entertain them and try to treat them like a friend, knowing good and God darn well that that's not their intentions, and you know it from the jump. So that's where
it's not
that's where you throws me at.
Females in general do that because at the end of the day, it's like. I don't have to. I know, but I'm saying it's like I don't have to do nothing. Like if he like me, then that's his business, and he giving out free meals.
But
so.
it ain't even just free meals. Sometimes it's just a
conversation.
Can I say something, please? But that's why I said I don't have any male friends. Like I don't really have guy friends. One of my really good guy friends lives in Jersey, and I mean, we had to set boundaries, basically. Like, we are just friends.
Did he ever try to holler at you?
I don't know how far this came immediately. So I'll just say, he's a really great guy friend of mine.
Nope, I didn't say, I didn't ask you if you would ever go out when I said, did he ever holler at you? Like, hey girl, I got, you know what I'm saying? I know we just friends.
Is,
but do you feel some way about me? You know what I'm saying?
No, so not even. So what I will say is we grew up together, you know, in church, y'all grow up together a lot of times. So we grew up together, and when we were younger, we kind of liked each other. Oh, okay, you know. But now that is not nowhere where we're at.
I've been on the opposite side. Like I've had friendships where I'm just like, okay, there's something happening here. I don't like it because I'm just your friend, right? I eventually had to stop talking to them. Then my best friend of 9 years, he and I, we never took it there the entire time we were friends. We never took it there. I just didn't feel that. Then we stopped being friends. No, we stopped. This was after our friendship kind of shifted. I hadn't seen him in years. He came back to church. You know that newly saved. You know what I'm saying? It kind of is something in the air. It's just like, oh, okay, you might be a little something, and then you do look like a little snack or whatever. All right. So we had a moment, but then I realized too, like I knew you so well that I just know for a fact that this ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? But at that point in time, we both had an understanding. There was never a moment in our friendship where we didn't understand our place, where we didn't understand our boundaries, and where we did. There were no blurred lines. There was just no blurred lines. When we was taking it there, we both knew.
we ask ourselves sometimes why Perry here too.
She there are some gems that she dropped.
And she be laughing off